So literally about 5 minutes away now from kick-off here at the recreation ground. The Pirates, as you can see on your pictures there, are just going through their sort of warm-down lap, led by skipper Gavin Cattle, and they'll just do a quick 45 of the pitch, as it were, down the tunnel, have a quick final few words, and then it'll be out for the action. But Jimmy, we said last week you're close to return. Also back in the country, I know you've been speaking to him today, Rodri McAtee, after his recent family problems. But Rodri's back, and how is he?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's looking forward to getting back to training tomorrow with the boys, and looking to get back in the mix. So hopefully it won't be long before we see him back on the pitch.
And yourself, the rehab, another week down?
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long. I see a specialist tomorrow about it again, and hopefully I should have some more information next week.
So the Pirates, as we can see, they're just going in for that final check, as it were. They'll have a quick few words from the skipper, Gavin Cattle. I'd imagine a few of the other lads, more senior players, will have their say as well. Paul Devlin in the centre there is one of the players, and again, he's a player making his comeback after a lengthy injury, but he had 40 minutes last week, and he would have benefited a great deal from that, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely. There's only so much training you can do. Your body needs to play games, and he's come out of it well. So hopefully we might see a bit more than 40 minutes out of him today. He's been eased into it, and yeah, we should see him firing today in his usual position at 13. So yeah, expecting big things from him today.
Also, with just over a month now until this first part of the season comes to a close, we're looking at forthcoming games, in particular Bedford on the horizon next Saturday at Goldington Road. That's going to be a testing encounter in itself.
Yeah, Bedford any time is a tough game, and especially down at their place, they know how to play their pitch really well with the slope there, similar to sort of Camborne here. But yeah, it'll be a tough away trip for the boys, but one we're confident we could come away with a result.
Just again looking at the pictures there, the ground is beginning to fill up. I think we're going to get a bigger crowd than perhaps we had here at the Rec last weekend, but yeah, it's nicely filling up. There's a lot of Pirates fans here. There's a sprinkling of Rotherham fans. And as we mentioned earlier, there's plenty of Rotherham fans back there at Clifton Lane listening in to us on the Pirates TV broadcast. Again, brought to you by the My Cornwall TV team, who do a sterling job here. But Jimmy, the final thoughts ahead of kick-off here. What do you think Chris would have said to the boys earlier today about the game itself?
I think all the focus will be on us, how we play our game, how we get the early control over the game, and just in terms of defence, keeping our solid line, what we've worked on all week, and leaking no tries, and making the hits behind the gain line is very important to us today. So I'm sure that Chris has said his piece. Gavin will be saying his final words now, but I'm sure all the boys are psyched and motivated now with nothing more needed to be said, and they'll come out on this pitch firing.
Looking at the visiting lineup there, you've got obviously the experience of Mike Whitehead at fly half. He can play fullback as well, or pretty much anywhere along the back division. But certainly in the centres there with PJ Gidlow and Kevin Magg, you've got two real hard-hitting, hard-running centres there that you probably wouldn't fancy being in the centre today.
No, it's going to be an interesting battle in there today, because in ourselves we've got Mark Ireland and Paul Devlin, both big ball carriers, both big hitting boys. So it'll be an interesting battle out there this afternoon.
They're Chris Sterling and Harvey Billion just making their way in front of the stand there, making a few waves to a few friends that they know in the stands. They're going to make their way over to their normal vantage point, which is a little TV gantry behind the post to our right here at the recreation ground. A few of the Pirates non-playing staff are here today as well. They're making their way into the stands, the likes of Tom Luke and Isaiah Havili, Tyrone Holmes, people like that. But the squad is coming together very nicely at a crucial time. All the long-term injuries are pretty much gone now, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely. Mike Myerscough is returning to training this week as well after his shoulder and hand problems. Yeah, so like you say, it's all coming together at a nice time, just at the right time. A few weeks before the playoffs will begin, and yeah, we should have a fully fit squad by then.
Out of all, it's probably Tom that's probably still the longest away at the moment. He's had a real frustrating time on the sidelines, as we know, but again, when he comes back in, he's another midfield option, even a 10 on occasions. Yeah,
definitely. Tom's been training extremely hard. He's in fantastic shape. He's just playing it week by week now until his shoulder regains the strength that it once had, so he can return to playing the hard-hitting, hard-carrying way that he did last season.
So as I said, just literally now a couple of minutes away from kick-off in this championship encounter. It'll be the 18th of the season for the Cornish Pirates, and a ripple of applause in front of us means that Rotherham Titans are taken to the field. They're led out by their skipper, as I said, the fly half Mike Whitehead. They're in grey jerseys, blue shorts and blue socks, and they'll be kicking from left to right in this first half. So up the slope here at the recreation ground, and final man coming out for them is their number 8, John Skerr, who's been a familiar face around the National 1 circuits and also now the Championship circuit for a number of years. But we'll soon get the strands of the famous Darude sandstorm, and that means it'll be the Pirates who will make their field. We'll just let you listen to the ripples of Darude. As you see the crowd here at the Camborne Recreation, and the clap is going. That means one thing: the Pirates are on their way, and they will be led out this afternoon by Gavin Cattle, their skipper, returning to the side in place of James Doherty this afternoon. People are on their feet already, and here they come. Gavin Cattle leads the side out, followed by Alan Paver, Rudy Britz, Richard Bright, Rob Ellaway, Chris Morgan, Blair Cowan, Laurie McGlone, Paul Devlin, Ben Gulliver, Mark Ireland, Rob Cook, Johnny Bentley, Sam Betty, and finally Nick Jackson, the South African there. Rob Debney is your referee, the man in charge in the middle this afternoon, and we'll shortly be underway. It'll be the Pirates who will kick off through the fly half, Johnny Bentley. So should be a cracker today, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely. Very excited about this game, and I'm sure the boys are going to give us the fans great entertainment today.
So Johnny Bentley with ball in hand on halfway. Rob Debney just checks with his 2 touch judges. The opposition that will be up and underway any second now. The first blast of his whistle, and it'll be Johnny Bentley. Up goes the signal. The left-footed high-hanging kick starts this game. It'll be Gregor Hayter there who spills that opening ball. Referee allows the advantage to go, and it's Pirates on the attack early doors here. Paul Devlin with the ball in hand, makes it across the 22. Good yardage there from the centre. Ball goes to ground. Ruck ball now. Gavin Cattle snipes one way. Runs into 2 or 3 Rotherham tacklers on occasion, but gets plenty of body support there from the Pirates pack, who will now look to maul this. They're bang on the Rotherham 22, about 10 metres in from that right touchline. Ball goes to ground. Cattle has somehow snuck his way out the back of that then, and referee allows play. It looked as though a Rotherham player marginally strayed offside, but he allows it to go on. But a good counter ruck there from Rotherham, but the ball does come back on the Pirates side. It's Cattle out to Bentley now. Bentley feeds it back inside to Laurie McGlone. The big Kiwi makes yardage there. Cattle picks that one out again, this time to Ben Gulliver. He's got men outside him, one of which is Bentley. Bentley's making his way, snipes his way over. 59 seconds on the clock. The Pirates are up and running already. Johnny Bentley with that opening try of the game, and it's a dream start here for the Cornish Pirates. 5-0 up. Jimmy Moore.
Yeah, great time there by Johnny. Great hands by Ben Gulliver, very clever play from him, drawn in the first defender, offloaded to Johnny, he threw the dummy there, and to score just shy of being under the post. But great team play there from the Pirates. Spread the ball one way, came back the next way, good interplay between forwards and backs, and a great try for Johnny Bentley so early on in the game there.
As we said, dream start there for Johnny Bentley, and that try has been converted by Rob Cook. So with 1 minute 41 on the clock here at the recreation ground, it's the Cornish Pirates 7, Rotherham 0. And just looking at the way that try came about, some really good interplay there between both backs and forwards. Ben Gulliver providing the sort of final slip pass there for Johnny Bentley.
Yeah, Ben Gulliver is a fantastic player. He's not your standard second row. Catch the ball carries. He's got a good array of skills, even kicking skills. So yeah, it's good. Great interplay, like we said, between the forwards and backs, and a great try so early on.
So Rotherham get that scrum off that restart there, and a knock on by them, and the referee just stopping play here while we have a breaking play. It looks like it's one of the Rotherham props down. Rod Lyon in the background there. Just signalling some Pirates chanting from the home faithful. Well-known Pirates supporter. Goes home and away regularly with the club. One of many who travel around the lengths and breadths of England to watch their beloved Pirates each week. But back to the action here, and it's going to be scrum down. And it will be Rotherham who have the put-in with their scrum half this afternoon, Matt Rhodes. They do have former Pirate Neil Chivers as backup at number 9 this afternoon. Neil spent a couple of seasons down here during the Jim Mackay days. But Rhodes has the ball and he snipes off the back there. Chris Morgan was a little slow to the action, but Gavin Cattle made sure he stopped his opposite number. It's ruck ball here for Rotherham. Fed out by number 6 there, Steve Swindles. Carried forward now by Nigel Conroy, experienced prop for Rotherham. Now Rhodes feeds it out to Whitehead. Whitehead has men outside him, one of which is PJ Gidlow, former Red Ruth man, on the charge there. Makes it just inside the Pirates 22. Comes back on the Rotherham side again. Whitehead switches it back inside. Good early ball possession here for the visitors. But good counter-ruck there from the home side. But it's now Gregor Hayter. Big towering second row. Hit with a huge hit there by the Pirates. But crucially still comes back on the Rotherham side. In fact, probably all that possession, Jimmy, they've just gone sideways, not really gone over the gain line just yet.
Yeah, that's what we've been focusing on all week, our defensive line, making the hits behind the gain line, and that's exactly what the boys are doing. They're staying strong here now, and they've pushed him back a good 10 metres from where the initial first contact was made off the scrum. Swindles
there, tries to take the ball forward, but he's hauled to the floor by Mark Ireland. Now Rhodes digs it out again. This time Rotherham sniped their way through 2 or 3 Pirates tackles, made it up to short of the Pirates 22. Goes out again. Whitehead feeds his back division once more. Again, good possession here from Rotherham, but not really making it over the gain line just yet. Comes back inside from Rhodes. Now to Whitehead again. Hayter on the crash. Hauled to the floor by a superb tackle there by Chris Morgan, the blindside flank. Rhodes, though, feeds Whitehead once more. Gidlow's outside him. So is Maggs. That goes behind Maggs and goes in the end to Brad Hunt. He is eventually hauled into touch by a covering tackle there from Nick Jackson. The pass away to PJ Gidlow, unfortunately, has to be pulled back, and it will be a line out to the Cornish Pirates. Rob Elloway back in the side this afternoon for Dave Ward, comes across and he will take this line out. Rob Elloway, the former Gloucester man, now in his third season with the Cornish Pirates, and a familiar face for many viewers here. But we're just going to have a break in play. It looks as though Sam Dickinson is down on the far side there for Rotherham. But dream start there for the Cornish Pirates, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic start. Good early score. Unfortunate there to drop the ball off the resulting kick-off, but the defence has held out really well. From that scrum, we've knocked them back a good 15-20 metres there, and it's resulted in a turnover ball, and it's the Pirates line-out. So it's a dream start for the boys.
Again, Chris Sterling was saying in the week that he's in training this week, 40 to 50 minutes just solely devoted to defence after last week. It was an area which he was clearly concerned with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we leaked far too many points against the Bees there, who did come to play and played some sevens rugby, but it sort of exposed the holes in our defence, and it has been a major focus of the week. And the boys have worked really hard and put the hours in training and in the contact sessions, and so far it's looking like it's paying off.
So still, as you can see in the top left-hand corner there of the picture, is Sam Dickinson has slowly got to his feet. Looks as though he will continue, but Rob Debney's just gone over there just to have a check and make sure he's okay. But physio action, looks as though it's his right knee that he's got a bit of damage to. And we'll be back in action very shortly. But you're not missing any action here on Pirates TV. Again, brought to you, as always, by the My Cornwall TV team, who next week will be travelling up the motorways once more to bring you action from Bedford. The championship encounter at Goldington Road, which kicks off next Saturday at 3 p.m. We'll be live here on Pirates TV from 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in and join us then for that encounter. But Sam Dickinson, as you can see, is just trundling his way over there again now. He's back into the fray. His right knee heavily strapped there. And ball goes in, line out throw taken by Ben Gulliver, back in the side this afternoon, and it's fed back to Alan Paver, who's at the back of that maul. Number of Rotherham bodies spit out the side, but it's still Paver who's controlling things. Gavin Cattle eventually says, give me the ball, feeds it out to Jackson. Jackson to McGlone on the charge, about 5 metres short of halfway. Now Cattle feeds it out to his back division. Bentley out to Ireland. Ireland sidesteps one and goes across the halfway line, makes good yardage there, does the inside centre for the Pirates. Again, it's a penalty this time that comes to the Cornish Pirates there. Rotherham going offside by the looks of it, and it's another chance. Jimmy, Do you fancy Rob Cook for him here, or will we go for the corner?
He's looking like he's shaping up. Yeah, he's going for it.
So Rob Cook signals his intent there to Rob Debney. This is a fairly testing kick for the number 15, but he is the Cornish Pirates' leading scorer, over 100 points this season for him. And we all remember that magnificent kick he put in at Moseley earlier in the season to win the game up there, and we know he's more than capable of landing ones from here.
Yeah, definitely. Full confidence in Cookie here. He was straight up as soon as that penalty was given. He was straight there, wanted the ball, so he's confident he can get this kick. Looks
as though Rotherham's Sam Dickinson's afternoon will be coming to a fairly short period. Already the visitors are readying number 20, Andy Barnes. He will be coming on once this penalty's been kicked, but as you can see, this superb camera angle here as Cook sizes up his options. About 6 metres, 7 metres inside the half. Right-footed kick, certainly has the length. Does it have the direction? Hits the left upright and bounces over, and that extends the Cornish Pirates' advantage here, somewhat fortuitously there, but it all counts. That means with 7 minutes on the clock, it's the Cornish Pirates 10, Rotherham 0. And as we said, Barnes has come on there for Dickinson in the first change of the afternoon, but that's the way it is for Rob Cook. Restart there from Mike Whitehead, right down the throat of Paul Devlin, who this time makes sure it's a clean catch for the Cornish Pirates. And although he goes sideways, he keeps the ball in hand. Gavin Cattle this time plays it left to Johnny Bentley. Left-footed kick from the fly half. And it's going to be Brad Hunt, the fullback there, comes across. Now feeds it out to left winger Peter Swatkins. Right-footed kick from him downfield, and Blair Cowan's over there to cover it, but unfortunately for Swatkins that one has gone out on the full, and it will be a line out just outside his own 22 on that far side. So not the best of kicks there from the left winger, but it's the Pirates who are in command early in this championship encounter, 10-0 up, and they are playing from right to left in this first half. Ellaway with the line out, taken again superbly by Gulliver in the middle, feeds it out, Cattle to Bentley. Now on the crash ball there is Mark Island. The forwards dive in there to secure that ball for the Pirates. Now it's Cattle, feeds it out to Rudy Britt. Summer signing from Coventry, gets to within a metre or so of the Rotherham line. Cattle looks both ways at his options. He has men either side. Slow ball for him, but he picks it up eventually, feeds Alan Paver. Paver on the crash, just outside the Rotherham 22. Ball goes to ground. Rob Debney just warns the visitors to go back. Now it's Blair Cowan who ploughs into that tackle. Again, gets good support. Now Cattle will switch to his right, out to Bentley. Bentley looks for a little jink and makes it away. Feeds off to Nick Jackson, in off that left flank, about 5 metres in front of the Rotherham post. Quick ball here, and it's on again. It's Paul Devlin. Paul Devlin out on that right wing to Richard Bright. It's the second try of the afternoon. 9 minutes on the clock. The Pirates are cooking.
Yeah, great play again there from the Pirates. Great work by the forwards, carrying it up close to the ruck area there. And a good unselfish offload there by Paul Devlin to put Richard Bright in at the corner. Fantastic play by the boys there.
As you can see there, great play from the Cornish Pirates with Bentley and Devlin. He could have gone over himself, but unselfishly feeds the ball out to the right wing. And there was Richard Bright crashing over for the try. Makes it a tough kick for Rob Cook, but certainly Richard Bright will be very thankful to Paul Devlin. That's a gimme, as they say.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been screaming for that ball out wide, and like we said, unselfishly, Paul offloaded there. He could have got his first try of the season, but gave it the 100% try there to Richard Bright. But great play, great break there from Johnny Bentley. Good support from Nick Jackson, and then to feed the ball out wide to Richard Bright. Good play.
So Rob Cook, his third kick of the afternoon. He's 2 from 2 so far, but this one is probably his toughest of the afternoon to date. Right-footed. Again, has the distance, does it have the direction? Unfortunately, it doesn't on this occasion, so that one goes unconverted. But with 10 minutes on the clock here at the recreation ground, it's the Cornish Pirates 15, Rotherham 0. So dream stuff so far for the Cornishmen. Mike Whitehead will restart here for the Rotherham Titans. Right-footed kick from him, high-hanging one, and that's going to go right down the throat of Ben Gulliver on that far side. Quickly switches it back inside to his fellow forwards, and it's Blair Cowan who has that one at the tail. The drive goes on from the Cornish Pirates. This is what Jimmy Moore alluded to. They wanted to try and take them on up front, and they're certainly doing that. So in these early stages are the Cornish Pirates. They've made good yardage there now. They're pretty much up to halfway line. The drive continues. Referee allows that play to go on. The ball finally goes to ground. The bodies go over the top there. Gulliver goes into Actors Bridge. It finally comes out from Cattle to Rob Cook there in the number 10 spot. Bodies go in to try and clean that one out. Number 2 for Rotherham, Ross Batty, is trying to get through but doesn't, and it's Chris Morgan who eventually takes the charge on once more for the Cornish Pirates. Cattle is demanding the ball. Finally he will dig in for that one, feeds it out to Bentley. Bentley left-footed grubber in behind, lovely little kick, seemed as though it bounced off a Rotherham player as well, and that will be a line out to the Cornish Pirates. Jackson is thinking about the quick one, but I'd imagine his forwards led by Ben Gulliver. He's the pack leader. We'll say no, let's have the line out properly. And eventually over there, Trundle's Rob Ellaway for the line out. So line out ball goes in, taken at the back this time by Blair Cowan. Good feed off there to Alan Paver. Paver looks for support up to the Rotherham 22. Cattle again in directing operations from the base of this ruck. He's got men outside him, one of which is Laurie McGlone. McGlone on the charge, gets support from Britt and Chris Morgan in the red scrum cap there. He's hauled back by about 3 Rotherham tackles, but crucially comes back on the Pirates side again. Cattle out to Bentley, Bentley to Ireland. Ireland again looks to make inroads. Cattle quick ball again and out to McGlone. Gets over that gain line this time. Now it feeds it right, back inside. Good swift hands there from Devlin into Gulliver, but that one's knocked on, and it's turnover ball for the visitors, who in then themselves knock it on, and it's turnover ball back to the Pirates. But the referee is going to come back for the original knock on, and it'll be a scrum to Rotherham. But Jimmy, it's good to see such a mixture of the Pirates here. The forwards and the backs really mixing it up so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's something Chris and the coaching staff have been working hard on all year, and they've said from the start that they want everybody to be a ball player, and it pays off, and that's how we score some great team tries, and like we've seen in the first 2 tries here today, there's been interlinking between the forwards and the backs, and it is fantastic to see when it's in full flow, and it's good to see it coming off today.
And it's also good to see Johnny Bentley orchestrating things there from number 10. I know some supporters have been critical of him in the last few weeks, saying some of his game management hasn't been up to their own standards, but certainly I think what we're seeing this afternoon is bang on, and certainly running the game nicely there. But the back division in particular looking lively already. Mark Ireland and Paul Devlin forming a solid midfield, and obviously on the flanks Richard Bright has got the second try with Nick Jackson on the left flank, and Rob Cook the kicking machine from fullback. But scrum down anyhow to Rotherham. Ball in the hands of their scrum half Matt Rhodes on that far side. Bang on the Rotherham 22. Referee just having a quick word with the respective front rows. He's telling Rotherham's tight head there, Ben Prescott, to take a step forward up against a wily old customer in Alan Paver. The 2 packs engage. The shove goes on from the Cornish Pirates. The ball goes in, and it's a big scrum there from the Cornish Pirates. Referee eventually blows it, and I think we're going to have a reset, but a few dust-ups, a few handbags there. Good evening all, and I think we said last week, Jimmy, you normally stay out of the way of those things, don't you?
Oh yeah, just leave them to it.
So it's normally a front row's way of saying hello, but we'll just wait for the respective packs to engage once again. Rob Debney just having a chat again on that left shoulder of his to Ben Prescott, the Rotherham tight head. The call of touch, pause, engage will go in. There they go. That time the Pirates went in, but Rotherham delayed it, and it's going to be a free kick to the Cornish Pirates. Good early pressure from the forwards there as well, Jimmy.
Yeah, great scrum, good solid scrum, and it's a good result there. A free kick for the Pirates, and it's something the boys will be very proud of and want to be dominating all day.
So that free kick gives the Pirates another good attacking opportunity with 14 minutes on the clock here. 15-0 up. Dream start so far for the Cornish Pirates. Just what Chris Sterling would have demanded after last week's mix and match performance against the Pertemps Bees. Birmingham Solid. I still call them the Bees. But the Pirates on the attack here, and ruck ball here for Gavin Cattle. Spins it to his left. Out to Cook again. In fact, that was Mark Ireland, sorry. For the mix-up, but penalty coming again to the Cornish Pirates. Free ball here. Johnny Bentley has Laurie McGlone outside him. Referee is allowing the advantage to go on just a moment, but It's the Pirates who are charging forward. That one seemed to go forward, but that's a knock-on in the end. He allowed that advantage to play, and it will eventually be a scrum to Rotherham. But all action start here from the Cornish Pirates. Rob Debony just getting ready to call the forwards again, and similar scrum again, hopefully, from the Pirates, Jimmy.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a good dominant scrum here and put the pressure on them, either exiting, or we could even get a turnover and for the backs to attack with. But it's a good key area to attack a scrum and make it difficult for the opposition to get out of their own 22.
I remember the game up at Clifton Lane early in the season. Certainly Rotherham gave the Pirates a bit of a torrid time in the scrum that day. It doesn't seem the way so far today. The Pirates having a good old battle up there. That's a keenly contested ruck again, but it's going to come back on the Rotherham side. Matt Rhodes is just pulling in all his forwards. The latter of there was Ross Batty. Now it's fed out eventually to Whitehead. Right-footed kick there. That's going to go between Rob Cook and Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson came across nicely to cover it. He feeds it eventually out to Richard Bright. Bright in today for the injured Wes Davis. He tweaked a groin in training in the week, and he made good ground there. And now it's Blair Cowan, the man of the moment this season for the Pirates, who takes the ball forward. Looks as though Rotherham might have got away with a turnover there, and they have. Comes back on their side. Good clever play there from their open side, Adam Kleberger. Eventually fed out to Whitehead again. Not so long with that kick, just a little chip kick from him, right into the path of Rob Cook, who returns it with a bit of interest up to the 10-metre line. Cattle will go in to try and get that. The bodies fly in. He's got no support there, did Cattle. But Johnny Bentley will now go into act. The referee eventually says enough's enough, and we'll come back for a scrum. And it'll go the way of the Cornish Pirates. But Gavin, very lucky there. Didn't have no support, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, again, sort of similar to last week. Not great ball for Gavin there at the back. He had to go in and try and protect that ball, and there was unfortunately nobody else to help him out from behind. Luckily, the boys came in, got the shove on forward, and it's still Pirates' ball.
Just saw a picture there of the Pirates' number 8, Blair Cowan, known affectionately to his teammates as Quadzilla. He's certainly in his first full season making a real impact, similar to that previously of the likes of Tim Cowley, Ludwig Hattinger in his day, big number 8, also Joe Bierman, another playing his rugby these days at Newport Gwent Dragons. But Blair Cowan certainly been a big signing. I know we only saw a brief glimpse of him at the tail end of last season, but this year he's really made his mark, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, Blair's done fantastically well. He's done well at number 8. He scored quite a few tries earlier on in the season. He's a great ball carrier, great work rate around the park, and he's a good boy to have around the training paddock as well.
Also back in the side this afternoon, Sam Betty, local lad, who, as we heard in the pre-match interviews with Phil Westron, now been at the club for a number of years, probably about 5, I think it is, and he's really another one who's made the step up this season. And earlier in the campaign, I know Chris Sterling was really raving about his stats, which you refer to, he was topping them most weeks.
Yeah, Sam Betty's done fantastically well this year. It's probably the first real year that he's been given the opportunity, and he's taken it with both hands. He's flying away with the stats each week in terms of the number of incidents he attends, which is the breakdowns and tackle count. And he's affectionately known by the boys as Sinn Féin, as he likes to just dive in at people's shins and try and snap them in two. And he's like we say, he's done fantastically well this year, and yeah, he's a great player.
You didn't miss any action there. It was a Rotherham player just down getting some attention, but again, a big warm welcome to everyone up there at Clifton Lane who will be tuning in, and also to all those other Pirates exiles around England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, even around the world, including yourself, Dickie Evans, wherever you may be this afternoon. But it's the Pirates on the attack again, and it's Gavin Cattle scampering away here. He's got men outside him if he needs them. Feeds it back inside to Sam Betty, who's on his shoulder. The Pirates now a metre or so away from the Rotherham line. They're sensing a third try could be on the cards here. The drive goes in. Eventually the referee says scrum down, Cornish Pirates. But Gavin Cattle was lightning quick there, Jimmy Moore.
Yeah, old age isn't catching him up so quick there. No, that was a great break from Cats there.
And when you look at the pictures there, just see how he just picked that ball up, and it was not the best of balls again, but he scampers away and he got within a few or so metres of the try line. Great support there from Sam Betty, but good covering as well there from PJ Gidlow, the former Redruth man, well known in these parts. As we said, he had a number of years down here in Cornwall. He's brother still plays for Redruth, Matthew, and I think he's in the crowd this afternoon. But the scrum goes on. Big shove there from the Cornish Pirates pack. The front rows go up, but the referee has awarded a penalty. This is try time. I think it's been spilt on the line, maybe. Referee has indeed awarded a penalty try, and it's a third try of the afternoon. 19 minutes play, and that was one for the Fords.
Yeah, definitely. I think sweet revenge from Clifton Lane earlier on in the year. That was a great scrum for the boys. You can see Alan Paver's reaction when he gets up from that scrum, how happy he is with that. But no, that was a great shunt from the boys. Great drive. I think the penalty advantage would be given as the Rotherham front row stood up. And in the end, the penalty try was awarded to the Pirates, which is a fantastic result for the boys, especially the front row boys, who are very proud men in that scrum area.
And there you can see Rob Cook adds the additional 2 points. So with 20 minutes played here, it's now the Cornish Pirates 22, Rotherham Titans 0. And this is literally dream stuff for the Cornish Pirates. But we're talking about that the Pirates really wanted to match Rotherham up front, and certainly you can see today from that scrum and earlier scrums as well, they've really got a dominance there already.
Oh, definitely. The boys have done fantastically well. 20 minutes into the game, and already they've penalty try from the scrum, and the driving line-outs are working extremely well. So the boys are doing well. They've reacted well to the training week, and a great start.
Indeed, it is a dream start so far for the Cornish Pirates, who now look to clear their lines on that far right-hand side through Richard Bright. Cattle goes in once again, and he will box kick that one left-footed downfield. The chase goes up from Rob Cook, and he hauls left winger Pete Swatkins to the floor straight away, but Rhodes will feed that one back inside. Whitehead has men outside him, one of which here is the fullback Brad Hunt. He tries to take on the Cornish Pirates rear guard, but he's halted by Chris Morgan on that occasion. Now it's Skidlow trying to charge it up a bit more. Ball goes in again. Rhodes, this time out to Whitehead again. Maggs on the ball, former Ireland international. Had a spell with Bath as well during his earlier playing career. Certainly an experienced man. Taken on now by the Rotherham Fords. Make it up to the Pirates 10-metre line. Fed out again, this time to Whitehead. Whitehead to Conroy in the middle of the field. Penalty goes out. It's going to be a penalty penalising there the Cornish Pirates. Alan Paver, the man penalised for not rolling away, and it's a crash ball there for Gidlow. Goes back inside from Rhodes. Whitehead has lots of men outside him, one of which is number 1, Nigel Conroy. Makes it good yardage there into Pirates territory. Good response here from the visitors. Yorkshireman on the attack. Whitehead has again options outside him, one of which is Maggs. He's brought to the floor. Eventually knocks that ball on the far side, and it will come. In fact, he was already in touch by the looks of it. Nigel Higginson, the touch judge on that far side, comes from Plymouth. So a short journey for one of the officials there this afternoon, and it'll be a line out here to the Cornish Pirates. Looks as though they're going for a shortened option here. Laurie McGlone has gone into the fly half position, but it's taken at the front by Ben Gulliver. Good secure ball there from him. As we've said numerous times here on Pirates TV, Ben Gulliver, one of the best line-out operators in the Championship. Cattle, left-footed box kick again. The chase goes up, led by Richard Bright. Taken on that far side by Swatkins. Back inside now to Hunt. Hunt looks to shake off the attention, sidesteps nicely there past Mark Island, but runs into a red brick wall. And it's this time out to Whitehead. Feeds it back inside to Prescott this time. Makes it up to the 10-metre line. Ruck ball. Fed out now to Hayter. Hayter has men outside him. 3 Rotherham options there, but the first of which decides to just carry the ball forward into contact. Rhodes this time comes right with it. Whitehead feeds it back inside once more to number 6, Swindles. Taken on by Rhodes now. He looks to snipe his way around the side of that ruck. Gets a few metres. Rhodes again feeds out to Whitehead. Whitehead has men outside him. Maggs to Gidlow. Gidlow, nice show of the ball, and takes the ball. Eventually brought to the floor by Johnny Bentley. The charging tackle goes back. Nick Jackson seemed to hold on to the Rotherham man a little longer than he should have, but referee allows it to go on. Rhodes again snipes around the side. And it's Maggs this time who acts as the scrum half. Out to Swindles. Swindles charges the ball forward. Good to get good rear defence here from the Pirates, but unfortunately that's a penalty. The referee is going to penalise the home side on that encounter. There was good defence up until that point, but in the end he pings out Blair Cowan as the guilty culprit. And it's going to be a penalty to the visitors. Mike Whitehead has a quick glance at the post, but instead he kicks to this near touchline where it'll be a line out, and real option here for Rotherham. It's the first time we've really seen them with the attacking platform, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a position now that the Pirates have put them in where they're kind of chasing the game. So I think normally he might have, Whitehead would have gone for the post, but they've no option really to go for the line out and maybe try and attack our forwards. But our boys are doing well so far, so we should be able to resist them here.
Ball goes in, it's taken at the front by the replacement, Andy Barnes. Now the drive goes on again. Rob Debney's arm is out, so it's a penalty again, this time to Rotherham, but they're going to try and charge the ball through. They're going to work this through their forwards. Rhodes is dictating play from the back there. Bodies flying out left, right and centre. But it's Rotherham who are now 5 metres away from the Cornish Pirates line. There you can see Rhodes indicating to Steve Swindles, the number 6, get in there, secure the ball. But the referee finally calls it back. It's going to be a penalty again for that earlier infringement. Coming in at the side, Whitehead says let's do the same again, and has ball in hand and will kick for this right hand corner. Right footed kick there from the number 10, and it'll be a case of try it again for Rotherham, who Ross Batty their hooker this afternoon. Just weighing up his options. There's not much of a gap there. Rob Debney just going across and saying come on fellas, let's get a gap there. Batty with the ball. Again taken at the front by Barnes. Now the charge goes on. It's Skur at the back who has the ball in hand. The drive goes on again. Skur still with the ball by the looks of it. He's getting plenty of assistance there from his fellow forwards as Rotherham look to peel this one off. Good counter there from Rotherham. It's from the Pirates. It's brought to the floor eventually. Bit of shoe pie there from Ross Batty on Nick Jackson. But Rotherham, crucially, still have the ball. They're literally inches away from the Cornish Pirates line. Batty goes for the line with that charge. He's held. Bodies going again. Gavin Cattle appeared to come in from the side, but the referee allows it to go on. Charge goes on again, and eventually over they go. And it's a try there for Rotherham, their first of the afternoon. The big high fives, and it's the number 1 by the looks of it, Nigel Conroy, who has that one. So Rotherham up and running finally with 26 minutes on the clock, and that sustained spell of pressure, Jimmy, has brought them reward at last.
Yeah, we've said all week how dangerous the Rotherham forward pack can be, and they've shown it there twice, attacking the line. I thought the Pirates' defence, the goal line defence, was going to hold out there, but the pick and go game from Rotherham there paid off in the end, and they've scored 5 metres from the touchline.
So with 26 minutes on the clock, it's Rotherham who have recorded their first points of the day. They're 22 points to 5 down, but Whitehead can reduce that slightly if he's able to land this right-footed kick. Similar kick to the one Ben Patson landed last weekend for the Bees to earn them a share of the spoils. But the crowd, the hush goes up. There's Whitehead, right-footed kick, and that one certainly looks as though it has the direction and the necessary length, and over it goes. The flags go up, and that's 2 more points on the Rotherham tally for the day. So with 27 minutes on the clock, it's Cornish Pirates 22, Rotherham Titans 7. But that was a good response from the visitors there, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what they needed. Like I said, they had no option really to go for the line out as they're chasing their game. They've come away with the try, and now they could be back in the game if the Pirates aren't careful.
Yeah, the Pirates certainly want a repeat of last weekend where they allowed Birmingham back into the game. They had the game by the scruff of the neck last week, and then allowed the Bees to come back. But certainly the defence looks a lot tighter this afternoon. It's worked along the line again. This is Maggs with the ball on that far side. Taken up to halfway by Rotherham, who have a little bit more vigour about them after that try there. And it'll be a scrum with the ball eventually halted. Paul Devlin there putting in the covering tackle. Devlin in for his second start of the season after a knee injury picked up just days before the start of pre-season in a sevens tournament over in Rome. But the respective packs are now ambling their way over to that far side, and it'll be scrum time once again, and it'll be Rotherham's ball with Matt Rhodes. But, have you been impressed by the Pirates pack this afternoon? They've certainly matched up in the set piece very well.
Yeah, definitely. They've the work rate of all the forwards there is extremely high. They're putting in a good effort, and look at that scrum again. The Rotherham pack's going backwards. Great effort from the boys.
But Rotherham have the ball now, and it's fed out to Swatkins there. He's got a bit of space to run in. He tries to take it on. Fed back inside to Hunt. Hunt slips the tackle off. It's knocked forward there by Gidlow and gathered by Nick Jackson. So turnover ball for the Cornish Pirates. Referee's going to call this one back by the looks of it. Eventually knocked on there by PJ Gidlow. Wasn't the best of passes inside there to the centre from his fullback Brad Hunt. Rob Devaney just saw if the advantage was going on, but eventually calls it back. But there's going to be another stoppage in play. Alan Paver is just down at the moment. Just having a chat there with Lauren Devlin, who is in fact Paul Devlin's wife. And I bet you've been seeing a bit of her recently in the treatment room.
Yeah, unfortunately I have, in the nicest possible way. I mean that obviously, but no, it's never nice to be in the physio room. And yeah, Lauren's a good physio along with Jeff Till, and I've been helping out with Jeff in the spare time a bit. We've got a new physio room now, so Jeff and Jimmy have been doing DIY. We've touted it as a feature on Pirates TV, but we'll see if that takes off. Seeing as neither of us have any DIY skills whatsoever.
JJ's DIY. You heard it here first from Jimmy Moore. So if anyone needs some work doing, Jimmy's your man. He'll be giving you rates later on in the broadcast, I'm sure.
There's no guarantees of workmanship.
But we're back to the action here. That's more important. And it's Gavin Cattle who will have this ball in hand for this scrum. The pack's engaged once again. It's a solid scrum there from the Cornish Pirates. Picked up at the base by Cowan. Cowan battles off the base of it and feeds it back inside superbly. One-handed stuff there, taken on by Betty. The charge goes on. Now it's Cattle, feeds it out to Bentley. Left-footed, high-hanging kick there from the fly half. Brad Hunt is under it. Up he goes to try and take it, and he meets with a fierce resistance there from the Pirates forward, but well taken there by the Rotherham fullback. Now it's Gidlow who tries to charge the ball forward a little for. Makes it up to halfway. Wrestling his way past 2 or 3 Pirates bodies. Now Rhodes feeds it to his right, Whitehead. Now out to Batty. Batty looks to take on, and he slips it back inside now to Hunt. Hunt has men inside him, one of which is number 14, John Feely, and that's a second try of the game, and a well-worked try there from Rotherham. So the fight back is on from Rotherham here at the recreation ground. Really well-worked try there from the visitors, and it's John Feely who gets it. Jimmy Moore.
Yeah, it was a good support play there by the Rotherham players. It was the sort of similar scenarios last week where the offload game killed us. And as we saw there, the low tackle was made, but the Rotherham player was able to get the offload away. And a good feed to John Feely there, who finished that flow and move off well.
So that reduces the arrears now to 8 points with 31 minutes on the clock. Cornish Pirates 22, Rotherham 12, but Whitehead, with almost an identical kick to the one he landed just a moment ago, has the chance to knock a further 2 points off the Pirates' tally here. So Whitehead just takes 2 or 3 steps back as a more conventional kicker's stance to everything, unlike a number of them these days. But right-footed kick, that one certainly has the length but doesn't have the direction this time, and unfortunately that one sails by the left post. So with 31 minutes on the clock, it's a 10-point lead for the Cornish Pirates, who stormed in front 22-0, but it's Rotherham who have had the dominance in the last 5-10 minutes, fighting back with tries from Nigel Conroy, and then that one you saw just a moment ago from John Feely. So Bentley restarts for the Cornish Pirates. High hanging kick from him, sends it right down the throat there of number 8, John Skerr. Takes it to ground, and they're bang on their 22. Rhodes feeds it out to Whitehead. Whitehead, long looping pass out to the fullback Brad Hunt. Don't think he really wanted it there, but he's met by 2 or 3 Pirates tackles, and then they go again. PJ Gidlow is pulled back. Bennett Paver goes in to try and halt the Rotherham charge out here, but it's ruck ball just about 6 or 7 metres from their own line. Rhodes will feed it this back time. Whitehead, right-footed kick from him downfield. It's taken on that far side by Richard Bright, who will look to return this with a bit of interest. The youngster takes it forward. He's about 5 or 6 metres outside the 22. Cattle has options to his right, one of which is Mark Ireland. Juggles that ball about. before eventually being hauled to the deck. Cattle again, feeds it on, but that one's spilt, and that would be turnover ball for Rotherham here. Referee allowing the advantage to go on here for a moment. Rhodes, box kick up there. Richard Bright in the earlier play there, back to cover, feeds it back inside to Rob Cook, who's got plenty of time and space. Right-footed Cook, looks for the space, and hunts across there to try and cover it, but he allows it to bounce, and it finds touch on this near touch slide. And just gone a bit scrappy in the last 5 minutes of the Pirates, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think at the moment the Rotherham team have got the ascendancy, so the Pirates need to weather this storm, try and concede as least points as possible before the end of the half, and then they can regroup, regather, and come out firing again in the second half.
So about 7 minutes of this first half remaining. Score at the moment, Cornish Pirates 22, Rotherham 12. Batty with that line out, stolen by Ben Gulliver, and it's turnover ball here for the Cornish Pirates. Well regathered in there by Rudy Britz. Now it's fed out from Cattle to Betty. Betty takes the ball forward, gets up to the 10-metre. Cattle out to Bentley. He's got men outside him, one of which is Ireland. Ireland runs at his opposite number there, Kevin Maggs. But it's a turnover ball once again here for Rotherham. Clever work there in the tight from Rotherham's pack. And Rhodes. Now Conroy goes in to act as deputy scrum half. Out to Whitehead. Whitehead has options. And it's fed away there to Swatkins on that left flank. He brushes aside the attentions of Richard Bright. Cutting inside, makes it up to the 10-metre line. Comes back on the Rotherham side. But good turnover there from the Cornish Pirates. Now it's McGlone, who looks to get a bit of normality back into play here. Cattle feeds it, left-footed kick, sees that Swatkins isn't at home, and box kicks it in behind the defence. Brad Hunt is across there to cover. Right-footed kick from him. Good clearance from him. Feeds it right down the throat of Blair Cowan, minus his scrum cap now. Left-footed, high-hanging kick from that quick throw-in by Bentley. Bentley, great charge and chase from him. Referee says that's a knock-on by the Kiwi there. But clever play initially there from the young Wellington man. Referee just having a stop as there's another injury here by the looks of it. But Johnny Bentley, good follow-up to his high-hanging kick there, Jimmy.
Yeah, great take there. Great option taken by Johnny. There's nothing else on. Just get the ball behind their defensive line, and it was a good kick, good chase. Great take in the air under opposition, and just unfortunate on the fall to the ground. He dropped it.
Second change of the afternoon for the visitors. This time it's their tight head Ben Prescott who's been forced out of the action. He's going to be replaced by Anton O'Donnell. But, he gets a handshake there from his coach Craig West, but it looks as though he's got a bang. That's his afternoon over, and O'Donnell is entering the fray for about 5 minutes of this first half and probably all of the second half. But, scrum on that far side to Rotherham. Rhodes will look to get his foot in there, dig that one out. He does. Right, feeds it to his right. Whitehead looping pass out there, misses his man Brad Hunt. Nick Jackson intercepts. Turnover ball there for the Cornish Pirates, who will look to do something. Devlin goes into act as scrum half, feeds it out to Cattle, who's the fly half. Crossfield kick there from the skipper. Looks to go in behind. Ross Batty's over there, claims a superb mark there. The Rotherham hooker, quickly taken by him. And then he shows his fancy footwork with a decent right-footed kick downfield, but he doesn't find touch, and it's Rob Cook who will clear it. Back downfield, high-hanging kick from him. Causes all sorts of problems there. Too many people hesitant in the Rotherham defence, and now the Reds pile forward looking for it, and they've got the ball back again. Good play there from the Cornish Pirates. Cattle now on the attack, goes in digging after that ball, feeds it out to his left where Mark Ireland is waiting. Richard Bright in off the right flank, looks to take it in, but is met with some Rotherham resistance. Slow ball here for Cattle, but he does finally feed it out to Chris Morgan. Morgan runs straight at Hayter and Ross Batty on that far side. Again, Pirates are keeping possession but not really going anywhere with it just yet. And good offload there from Cowan, finds Devlin in space. Devlin looks to run around Brad Hunt. Brad Hunt comes across. What okay is there? But Devlin's across. That's a try. That's a returning try for Paul Devlin. And that's just what he wanted.
Yeah, fantastic try by Paul there. Great support there with the offload, and he ran out of options, but he used his strength well, used his handoff, and scored a great try there in the corner. He was looked extremely happy to score that try.
You see the footwork there from Devlin. Brilliant play. You think it's all over. He does a quick show of the ball, but it's a poor tackle from Brad Hunt and an equally poor tackle there from Mike Whitehead, and over he crashes for his first try of the season, and one that he will really relish. I know he's had some dark days, he told me, on the injury table, and really desperate to get back and show his form. He said, I've got to start playing and convince Chris Sterling that I should be a regular starter over these final few weeks of the normal season and then entering into the playoffs. But if he does that and does more of that, he'll be in the side most weeks. Certainly that'll be what he wants, and his wife there just giving him a tap on the back as well to say well done, hubby. But it's Rob Cook now who can add an additional 2 points possibly to that score from Devlin. That means the bonus point already in the bag for the Cornish Pirates. Up comes Cook, right-footed kick, and we're right behind it, and there it goes between the sticks. Rob Cook on form again with the right boot, and with 38 minutes played, it's the Cornish Pirates who have stretched their lead once again to 29 points to 12. So Rob Cook bang on form, Paul Devlin bang on form.
Yeah, it's good. The boys weathered the Rotherham onslaught there, and a great score, just what the boys needed just before half time. Just give the score an extra boost, and it'll give the boys a lot of confidence now going into the second half.
Restart there for Rotherham, taken by Ben Gulliver, and it's the Pirates forwards who will look to work the ball forward once again. Referee says that's an infringement though, and comes back for the penalty. And having got themselves back into the encounter, Rotherham now have a chance to go for a penalty. Whitehead is going across to have a look at it. I think he's going to kick for the corner though. He's looking at that left touch line, right-footed kick. Drills it over on that far left-hand flank, and it'll be Rotherham who are back on the attack. And Jimmy, as you said, they've got the score just before half-time, just what they want. They don't want to go and concede one now.
Yeah, no, exactly. It'd be tragedy now to concede after such a good score just 2 minutes before the end of the half. In a kind of similar position, just on the opposite side of the pitch, Rotherham now where they scored from earlier. So hopefully the Pirates' defence will hold out and just before the end of the half.
Taken at the front by Barnes, not for the first time this afternoon. The shove goes on again, and it's a good drive from Rotherham. You can see their Skurs peeling off the back. Over he drives, the referee's in close attendance, but I don't think he's eventually awarded the try. The nod of the head by the touch judge, Nigel Higginson, and that's a try for the Cornish Pirates. The tap on the head for Steve Swindles, but my reckoning is that was John Skurs' try. He's got the ball in hand there, just seeing the pictures. And as he drives across there, there's no one there to really stop him. He's got the body, the weight of 2 or 3 of his forwards, and he just drives over. The last little movement there indicates that he's over for the try. John Skurs, the number 8, with the score. So just what the Pirates didn't want. We just said, no, don't go and concede, and they have, Jimmy.
Yeah, like I said, just don't concede just before the end of the half. But the Rotherham pack again, a good driving ball, just like before, and this time they powered over on the first time of asking. But unfortunate for the Pirates there, the defence have been holding out well, but unfortunate on that occasion it didn't, and the Rotherham pack again showing where their strengths lie.
Indeed they do. Whitehead with a testing kick from that left touch line there, right into the sun as well. Up he steps, 1, 2, 3, right-footed kick. Certainly has the distance, but again it fails to go between the sticks, and that's the end of the action here in this first half. It's been a gripping first half here at the Recreation Ground. The Cornish Pirates lead by 29 points to 17. I'll give you a quick rundown in a minute of what's happened, but Jimmy Moore, give us your quick thoughts on that during the half-time break.
Yeah, it's been a tale of 2 games really in one half there. The Pirates flew out of the blocks, scoring some early tries, playing some fantastic rugby. There was some great interplay between forwards and backs, which gave some good flowing rugby. And yeah, the boys have done really well. The defence held out for the first 20 minutes really well. It's just then it swung in Rotherham's favour. They were chasing the game, they were trying things, kicking for the corner when maybe normally they might have gone for points. And it's just shown the strengths of the Rotherham pack with two good driving mauls, which have unfortunately resulted in the Pirates losing their good points advantage there. But we go into the half 29-17 off. Pirates still in a strong position, the bonus point already secured. So if we can hold on for the win in the second half, we've achieved what we wanted, which is the 5 points. And hopefully the second half will see some more of the same, some good flowing rugby, and see our forward pack continue to try and dominate the Rotherham pack in the scrum, which they have been doing. No, we're in for a very exciting second half. I think it's going to be a close contest.
And it's been a fairly good half for the Pirates so far. They're in front by 29 points to 17. Tyrone Holmes, you're not playing today, but good action there so far.
Yeah, very good, very good. But up and down and in the lead, and they're catching up. But otherwise, good first half. Good first half.
It was really a dream start for the Pirates. You know, after last week, I think Chris wanted a response from the guys. He wasn't best pleased with the performance, but 22-0 up straight away. He was definitely pleased with that, I'd imagine.
The best start we could have had. We worked a lot last week on defence, and I think that's held up in the open play. Unfortunately, they've just Rotherham's managed to capitalise on one or two of our handling mistakes and one or two good drives from them.
We knew Rotherham's threat would come from up front. Two of their tries have certainly come from the forward pack there. It's just a case of just trying to get to deals with that in the second half.
Yes, definitely. I think we've got to stop their drive at the base before they get going. But I think we're doing a really good job in stopping their nullifying their scrums. At the moment, we're dominating, which is a good thing.
Tyrone, what will Chris be saying to the boys at half-time? He can be pleased, you've got 4 tries in the bag already, but obviously he wants to tighten up the defence even more, I'd imagine, second half.
Definitely. I think there's good urgency at the moment, but 1 or 2 communication errors, and I think that's giving them the overlap or letting them get the offload, and that's how they're putting us on our back foot and we're having to scramble. But I think we can get that urgency up and our urgency in attack to work harder to play with depth. I think we'll do pretty well.
Tyrone, this is your first season with the Cornish Pirates. You're a long way from home and that, but what have you made of the Pirates' life so far?
It's been fantastic since I've been here. We're really tight in that group, which is nice, and spend a lot of time with the boys places, and we get together for meals and stuff. It's been fantastic. I look forward to the rest of the season.
And what about the standard of rugby compared to home? How much of a difference has that been? It's
a little slower than at home, obviously, because of the weather and doesn't allow you to play the quick game as we play back in South Africa. But otherwise, it's been good. The impact and the physicality is at a good standard.
But obviously, as well, it adds new things to your game that you can then take home eventually one day.
Exactly, that's the plan.
Excellent. That there is the halftime thoughts of Tyrone Holmes. We're going to join now in Pirates TV by former Launceston coach and Exeter Chiefs player Chris Brown. Thanks very much for your time there, Tyrone. Chris. Evening, afternoon as well. But Chris, your thoughts on the first half? What sort of game so far?
Well, I think attack-wise, the Pirates got it absolutely sewn up. I think every time they've got the ball, they look dangerous. They look like they're going to break the line. They put any pace on the breakdown area at all, and they're crossing with will. They're getting offloads away. It's box office stuff going forward. But I'm sure Chris Sterling is going to have a word or two to say about their sleepiness in defence, because they've let a Rotherham side come back into a game that it should never be in. And that's probably a little bit of a hangover from last week. And also when you score early tries like that, Mark, sometimes it becomes difficult to concentrate over long periods of time. But certainly the short game, close to the line, you know, that was a soft try, and one that people like Alan Paver will be furious with. And it's no surprise to see them come back for another bite of the cherry late in the second half. I think Rotherham are lucky to be in it. I think when the Pirates are direct and confrontational and put pace on the breakdown, they're a different class.
I know this season you've been a regular attender here watching the Pirates now. They're playing a good brand of rugby at times, aren't they?
I think the brand is everything. I think it's the sort of brand that wins championships. I think you can go so far on a 10-man game, but I think if you look historically at the teams who win this league, they're the ones who put the ball around too. And of course, people on a day like today want to come and watch rugby like that, Mark, and it's exciting to watch. Certainly if they could get the other side of their game right, then they would be real contenders, and I expect them to pull off a few shocks come the playoffs.
Speaking to Jimmy Moore in commentary, and also then to Tyrone, a lot of emphasis has been put on defence this week after the Birmingham game. You can see parts of it are working, but obviously you said there's a sleepiness there as well in some respects.
Yeah, I think when you play the game for long periods of time and you have the ball for 20, 25 minutes, as the Pirates did, it becomes very difficult to switch straight back into defence mode. And I think that's what happened. They were a little bit rusty, a little bit sleepy. They get caught out. And then they gave away a few ill-disciplined penalties when they're so keen to get that ball back in hand. I don't actually think that they need to be that. I don't think they need to commit that much to the breakdown. They're very comfortable in defence, and they're giving away soft penalties which are killing them.
As a man who knows the forward game very well, have you been impressed by the Pirates scrum in particular? That seems to be going
massively. I've been very impressed with the Cornish Pirates scrum. I think Alan Paver has had a fantastic season for the Pirates. Played at tight head, played at loose head. Whatever he does very well. I don't think the Rotherham scrum has got a lot going for it this afternoon. If I'm honest with you, Mark, I think they'll have stiffer tests, but they can only play what's put in front of them. And they've just destroyed that Rotherham, mate. If you're a coach, you're saying, right, one of the front rowers is off, the hooker's hobbling round. You never want to see a front rower a P being brought off. You know, that sort of thing really gets you go. And to have two guys off already in the front row at half-time is a huge victory, and that's an area they'll really want to put the boot in the second half.
Championship this year is obviously getting towards the business end. It's a new format, and that. What have you made of the championship as an outsider, as it were?
As an outsider, I think it's exciting. I think for the teams at the top, come the end, it'll be the team that plays the rugby who win it. I like the idea of a bottom four playoff, although I don't agree necessarily that if you're on negative points that you should stay in the division. That's my own personal viewpoint. I don't think it would happen in any other arena. And the idea that perhaps a team on negative points would survive come the end of the season, as opposed to a side that's been on positive points to go down, is pretty abhorrent to me over the course of a league season, which is about a war as opposed to an individual battle. Having said that, at the top end of the table, you know, to get a final like that, you know, where you get two legs for the best two teams playing, will be tremendous.
Well, there you go. That's the thoughts there of Chris Brown. He's on media duties today as well, like myself. But we'll be back in a minute. You're going to take a quick break, and we'll have all the second half here in the Cornish Pirates TV with My Cornwall TV, and we'll be back in a moment. Join us then. Back to the Camborne Recreation Ground. That was the thoughts there at half-time of current Cornish Pirates flanker Tyrone Holmes and also former Launceston coach Chris Brown. Up here in the commentary booth alongside me this afternoon is Jimmy Moore. Jimmy, good and bad so far we've seen from the Pirates. You know, they've done some really excellent stuff in attack, but defensively there's still a few little areas that, despite all that work this week, Rotherham are exploiting a little.
Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes we saw the Pirates come out of the blocks, and they had so much possession in attack. Scored some fantastic team tries, but then the sort of last 20 minutes the Rotherham team got the ascendancy. We thought we'd pulled away a little bit with a good, well-taken try by Paul Devlin near the end, but then the Rotherham pack again came to the rescue, and a good driving ball 6 or 7 metres out resulted in another try for Rotherham.
So Rotherham returning here for the second half of this championship encounter. It's 29-17 to the Cornish Pirates at the moment, and just alongside us up here at the moment,
Jimmy Jangles.
And it's that's the thoughts there of Darren Daviduke, the Gloucester man, who saying hello there on Pirates TV for us all. But Darren moved on in the summer to Gloucester, and he's made numerous starts in the Premiership for them this season. But interesting to see Davy back there, Jimmy.
Yeah, old blockhead. He's looking in decent shape there, a lot bigger than what he was when he was here. He's put on a good few stones of muscle there, but yeah, good to see him back here at the Pirates.
And here come the Cornish Pirates, led by skipper Gavin Cattle for this second half. Already with 4 tries in the bag. Doesn't look as though the Pirates have made any changes at the moment. Certainly Rotherham have, by the looks of it. Looking around there, no, it's actually the change they made at the latter stages of that first half. It's Anton O'Donnell, but it'll be Rotherham who restart this second half. Mike Whitehead, not for the first time this afternoon, having a restart, but it's nicely balanced here. Pirates with a 12-point cushion at the moment, but Whitehead will restart for the second half. Rob Devaney again just going through his checks, and the whistle goes up. Right-footed kick. This one goes straight down the middle from Whitehead. And it's gathered there by Sam Betty, but unfortunately it's knocked on by the open side flanker, and it's an early scrum here for Rotherham. And the visitors with the first attacking platform of the second half. Rhodes is the scrum half. He will put the ball into this scrum. Again, the referee just having a quick word with the two front rows. Not surprising on the side of Alan Paver and his opposite number, this time Anton O'Donnell. Ben Prescott leaving the field just before half-time. Scrum goes down, and immediately Alan Paver's pressure on the new tight head has paid dividends. And Chris Brown alluded to it at half-time. The scrum in particular from the Cornish Pirates today has been really good.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. If we can use the word dismantle. The Pirates pack have been phenomenal so far in the first half, and hopefully it'll continue into the second half, and we'll dominate them for the whole game.
And that's a good clearance there from Johnny Bentley. Left-footed one, finds a decent touch just in front of us here in the main grandstand. It's the Pirates who'll be kicking left to right in this second half in their normal red, white and black. Rotherham in grey shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. That line-out goes in, taken by Blair Cowan with a different coloured scrum cap on this second half, black one instead of white. But Pirates on the attack early doors. Cattle feeds it out to McGlone. McGlone, summer signing from Coventry, makes good yardage there. Now it's Bentley. Bentley has men outside him. Looping pass to Cook. Cook feeds in off the wing there, Nick Jackson. Good attacking play here from the Cornish Pirates early in the second half. Cattle comes in. That looked as though that was a offside bit of play there from Rotherham, but the referee allows it to go on. Cattle, again, not getting the best of protection there from his forwards. And it's Rotherham will look to clear their lines. Whitehead going a bit kamikaze, and his kick in the end is charged down by Sam Betty on that far side. Good work there from the Pirates number 7. And eventually it's going to come back for a scrum. 5 metres out. Big opportunity to start the second half with a bang, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think we'll see a good shove on from the pack here. I think they'll look to take them on early doors in the second half, gain revenge for that driving maul Rotherham scored just before the end of the first half. The backs have look like they've got a move set up, but I'm sure the forwards will go for the drive first.
Indeed they will. The way they won that penalty try early on, the shove goes on again. It's at the feet of Blair Cowan. It's picked up by the Kiwi number 8. He looks for support, gets it. Ball brought to the ground just short of the line. Paver looks to pick it up. Now it's Rob Ellaway driving for the line, inches away. Bodies go in from both sides. Referee says that one's held up, and it comes back for a scrum again, 5 metres out, but about 15 metres in from where it originally started. So very close there for the Cornish Pirates, but in the end Rotherham's defence scrambled enough to hold Rob Ellaway at bay. You're just seeing the replay of it there. Rob Ellaway picking the ball up. He's inches away from the line, but as you can see, 3 or 4 Rotherham tacklers going in to stop him. But Rob Debney right on the spot. Scrum again though to the Cornish Pirates, who lead here 29 points to 17. 4 minutes played in this second half of this championship count. That one's going to be reset again. The respective front rows go down there. Conroy for Rotherham and Rudy Britz, the number 3 for the Cornish Pirates. And Rudy Britz, he's not a man of many words, is he, Jimmy? But he does his talking on the field quite often.
Yeah, he's a fantastic scrummager. He's a massive bloke, and he's great to have in any front row.
So scrum down again to the Cornish Pirates. Ball goes in from Cattle. More solid this time, and the shove goes on. The forwards front rows go up. Referee stops the play, says scrum down again. Really beginning to turn the screw in that front row there are the Cornish Pirates, and almost a complete switch around from that up at Clifton Lane, Jimmy, as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, it's great to see. Like I said, the forwards are a very proud bunch of men, especially when it comes to scrummaging, and they'll look to atone for that, and so far they are doing.
Rotherham may be set for a another change early in this second half. Number 17, Jamie Kilban, is stripped just in front of us. He'll be brought into the fray just in a moment. Just going through a few warm-up exercises. But already they've lost Ben Prescott to injury earlier in the game. And scrum time again. Cattle with the ball in hand. Goes in. Cowan picks up again. He's met straight away by a thumping hit there from Adam Kleeberger. Cattle, though, snipes around the side. Now it's taken on by Paver. Paver short of the line. Ball goes in. Morgan goes in to provide the bridge. Cattle has options either way. He's going to contemplate the blind side. He does. Goes out to Ben Gulliver, whose father Tony is the Coventry team manager. He's in attendance here today. And now it's fed out along the back division. Bentley tried to find the on-rushing Nick Jackson, but unfortunately that one's been knocked on. And we're going to come back again for a scrum. Bad injury there, though. It looks as though to Johnny Bentley. He looks in a lot of pain there, Jimmy. Crunching hit on him there.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was watching Nick Jackson come through on the offload. More often than not, the 10s take it to the line, and they do get the cheap shot put in off occasionally, but it sort of comes with the territory. I'm sure he was expecting it. He's a tough character, Johnny, so I'm sure he'll get up from this.
As expected, we're seeing that Rotherham change there now. Ross Batty is slowly traipsing off. Looks as though his shift's over for the day, and he's been replaced by Jamie Kilban. But Johnny Bentley down at the moment for the Cornish Pirates. Just getting a bit of treatment there from Lauren Devlin, and Simon Rains is in close attendance there. He's coming up. Not missing any of the action. But another new face in that front row. And it looks as though they've swapped Nigel Conroy into the hooker's role. He's moved from loose head to the number 2 jersey. So Kilban comes in, and it's Batty who's made way. But scrum down again. This time it's a Rotherham put in. So that chance the Pirates had there to press it home has gone for the moment being. Again, that scrum goes down. Break in play. Alan Paver checks his opposite number there, Anton O'Donnell. And they're having a right battle up front there, those two. Rob Devney's just gone over on that far side to keep a closer eye on things, but it's a dark art in there apparently, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, I played ignorance in there. I know absolutely nothing what goes on in that area. I just leave it to the bigger guys.
That's a good scrum there from Rotherham. It's at the base there for John Skerr, and eventually it's fed out to Brad Hunt on that far side. He goes to ground. Bodies going for Rotherham. It's a good counter ruck, but it's illegal countering there from the Cornish Pirates, and it'll be an easy opportunity for Whitehead to clear the lines here for Rotherham, who've been under the cosh these first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half. But crucially for them, they haven't let any points be conceded, and Whitehead eventually clears his lines with a right-footed kick downfield. Luke Pearce, the touch judge on that far side. We've got 2 Devon officials on the touch this afternoon, the other one being Nigel Higginson, our referee, of course, Rob Debney. So line out to the Rotherham Titans. Conroy taking over the hooker's role, gets an instruction there. Be interesting here, he's normally a prop, but Conroy thrust into the role. But that's a decent first throw, taken by Barnes at the front of the line out. The shove goes on, it's a good shove from Rotherham, making excellent yardage now, getting up to the halfway line, made 20 metres there at least, and it's still going on. The drive, huge drive there from Rotherham. This is the threat that Jimmy Moore had predicted earlier in the game. It's already worked a couple of times for some tries. Rhodes eventually feeds it out. Whitehead now on the crash ball to Maggs in midfield, goes to ground. Bodies go in, but Rotherham continue to attack. That one's knocked on, though, by Swindles. Wasn't the best of passes there from Whitehead, and it's Sam Betty who leads the charge out. Cook on the charge now, has men inside him, one of which is Nick Jackson. The race is on. It's Jackson and Devlin against Whitehead and Swatkins, but Whitehead's the man back there. Looks for support. Pirates' bodies are going in there, trying to clamber that ball out. Referee says you've done it illegally to the home side and awards a penalty to Rotherham, but it's one of those ones. There's a few words there as well from Rob Ellaway, and he's going to traipse that one forward another 10 metres. Gavin Cattle just goes across to have a chat with Rob Devney and see what it was, but that was a tough one there probably for Rob Devney, because it looked as though Whitehead did initially hold on to it for a period, but
yeah, that was a great chase there. Good kick by Cookie, and good chase by Paul Devlin and Nick Jackson there. And it looked like the Pirates had turnover ball there, but the referees let Mike Whitehead get away with it, and yeah, the Pirates back on the attack now.
But Whitehead didn't find touch with that penalty. It was gathered on this right flank by Richard Bright, who runs it back about 5 or 6 metres, squirts out the back there, and it's hacked forward by number 11, Peter Swatkins. But that's done illegally, says Rob Devney. An ironic cheer goes up from the home fans, who say, you missed one earlier there, ref, but he's given that one, and it's going to be a penalty. With Alan Paver off, Ryan Storer is on. So Ryan Storr, another newcomer this year. He had a slow start to the season. I think it was a bit of a wake-up call coming into professional rugby for him, but he seems to have really settled in over this last month and a half.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was just a change of environment, change in workload for him. He suffered with a slight groin injury earlier on in pre-season, which set him back a couple of weeks. But no, he's come on well. He's by all accounts, he's a decent scrummager. From what I've seen of him, he's great in the scrum. Obviously, I know very little about that area of the game, but no, the boys in the pack are very impressed with him, and I'm sure he'll give us a good platform now.
So Rotherham, 29 points to 17 down, but they can sense that a fourth try is possibly on the cards for them. They are in strike range now. Rhodes, the ball feeds in. It's working its way back through the tail of that scrum. Up goes the front rows again. Referee says we'll restart that one again, but they're mounting the pressure here, are the Yorkshiremen. Rhodes will reset with this scrum, but they can sense an opportunity here, and if they get it, it will not only bring a bonus point, but it will get them well within range of the Pirates once again. So the respective forwards get ready to pack down again. Ryan Storer alongside Rob Ellaway and Rudy Britz in that front row for the Cornish Pirates. Down they go. Scrum goes in. The shove goes on. Again, this time, no, it's not really going. Now it goes. Up go the front rows again. The referee says enough's enough and awards another scrum. So all this time it's killing the clock, Jimmy, but it's big pressure here from Rotherham at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It looks like their left winger, Watkins, is looking to exploit that slight space on the right wing of the Pirates where Richard Bright's come off, but there's not that much room down there. They'll be best served to try and play out wide, but the Pirates are scrumming well. They've done it was good coaching tactics there, keep a full pack against this a good Rotherham pack. So yeah, it was a good decision there to bring off Richard Bright for the 10 minutes.
Scrum goes in. This time it's at the feet of Skur again. Shove. They're trying to wheel this one round. Skur picks it up. Looked as though he fumbled it, but referee allows the play on. There goes Skur again, driving for. Knocked back by Sam Betty. Good work there from the open side. Now the Pirates forwards join him, one of which was Ben Gulliver in the black scrum cap. Now they drive do the visitors. Pick and go, simple from them. Ben Gulliver trying to work his way through. Sniping around the side there is Rhodes, but he didn't have enough options around him. Looks for support from his forwards. Gets it in the end. There's options either way here for the visitors, who go left on the blind side, the narrow side. Again, though, the Pirates repel them. They keep them at bay. And up they go again. Skur this time again gets support from Hayter, the big second row. As I said, formerly of Newbury. Been around the scene for a while now. But Rotherham still trying to eke their way towards the Pirates line. It's really slow ball. It's a simple game they're keeping. But at the moment, they're being held at bay by the men in red and white. Slow play. You just see their bodies lying everywhere from this, but eventually it's picked up and they drive forward again. Gavin Cattle pointing his forwards into positions to keep them at bay. Chris Morgan there in the red scrum cap, just working his way across. They're inching inside the field. Hayter this time tries another charge for Rotherham. Strong pressure from the Titans, but at the moment it's the Pirates who are holding them at bay. As we said, Pirates are man down at the moment. Ryan Storer on with Alan Paver in the sin bin. And there's Sam Betty working really hard, trying to rip that ball out. Penalty in the end for the Rotherham Titans. Referee, oh hello, there's another punch gone in there from Ben Gulliver. Referee says enough's enough, and it's going to be a penalty. You can imagine they'll probably either go for the catch and drive line out, which has worked a couple of times for them this afternoon, or do they go for a scrum again, Jimmy?
I'd imagine they'll probably go, are they calling it? I'd imagine they go for the line out, but they're going for looks like they're going for the scrum.
Interesting tactic, especially when the line out has worked twice so well in the first half with scores from close range, but this time they're opting for the scrum. They can obviously sense this might be an opening for them, but at the moment the Pirates are keeping them at bay. Rudy Britz, Rob Ellaway, and as we said, Ryan Storer, the man on at the moment. Rob Ellaway just trying to get his setting right there alongside his two props. Number 17 there for Rotherham, Jamie Kilban. He came on for Ross Batty at the start of this half. No points so far in the second half, so it remains the half-time score 29-17 in favour of the Cornish Pirates. That scrum goes down again. Lots of huffing and puffing in that left-hand corner at the moment, Jimmy, but nothing really happening.
No, the Pirates have got a good solid scrum going here. That's why we probably couldn't understand their reasoning for the Rotherham pack to go for the scrum. But the boys are resisting well, and like we said, it's eating up the clock of the time that Alan Paver's in the sin bin, which will give the Richard Bright the opportunity to get back on the pitch, and the Pirates will be back to a full complement.
Pirates readying some more replacements in the shape of Sean Pimenta and Dave Ward. The shove goes on this time from Rotherham. They're trying to wheel this one round to expose that gap on the left side. That's a penalty again for the Cornish Pirates. They say, referee Rob Debney saying that one's been wheeled around again, and the referee is going to say something in a minute. I think he's going to say to Gavin Cattle, any more of that and it's going to be penalty try time. Cattle is being hauled across here. It's going to be a stern lecture for the Pirates captain. And I think, Jimmy, one more and it will be a penalty try similar to that in the first half.
Yeah, it looks like it. That might be the reasoning behind Rotherham thinking they could. That's probably what they're looking for out of these scrums. They're not really shoving the Pirates back. They are getting the penalties, and maybe that's what they're trying to work towards, is the penalty try.
I think the right arm gesture there of Rob Debney, where he's pointing to the posts, was enough indication to you viewers at home that any more of this and the Pirates will be conceding a penalty try. So, scrum down. 27 minutes played in this second half. 13 minutes to go at the recreation ground. Rotherham on the push again. The shove goes on. Up come the front row. Skur picks up from the tail this time. Looks to drive it forward. He's within inches of the line. The Rotherham 8 go in en masse. The dive goes in there, but it comes back. That's knocked on, in fact. Finally, great defence there. Your cheers of the home faithful tell you that the Pirates have kept them at bay. Big high fives going around amongst the Pirates forwards, and you can understandably see why. Good defence there from the Cornish Pirates. They've been under the cosh for the best part of almost 6 or 7 minutes from Rotherham, but Rotherham haven't made the breakthrough as they anticipated. And as we said, Jimmy, they might come back to regret not taking that line out.
Yeah, I mean, that was great defence from the Pirates. There was a great work rate to get back in the line to keep the Rotherham pack out. I think they came close and just knocked on over the line, but it was a great defence by the Pirates. Good solid scrum, and another good solid scrum there for.
The scrums go down again, and Rotherham look to put a big shove on that time. They want to win this ball back as quickly as possible. The time is running out for them here in this championship encounter, brought to you as always on Pirates TV in association with My Cornwall TV. Next week we will be at Bedford, Goldington Road, the venue for the championship encounter there with the Blues. Join us live on the internet from 2 p.m. As always, keep track of Cornish Pirates website for all the latest news from the club. Picked up at the tail there by Blair Cowan. He likes to lead the charge out for the Cornish Pirates. Cattle looks for the clearance option. He takes it himself, left-footed box kick, and finds a decent kick downfield. Brad Hunt was across to try and cover it, but he found no support. He's not happy. You can see there players from the Cornish Pirates trying to whip up the crowd. They knew how important that was. That was a key defining moment perhaps in the game there. The Rotherham really under the pressure. The hammer was down, but crucially they didn't score any points. Again, it's that front option with Andy Barnes. Skur looks to carry the ball back inside. Gets support from Ryan Burrows, another replacement. Now it's fed out. Rhodes has time and space to work in. Mark Island, thumping hit in the midfield there from him. Bodies go in from both sides. And this turnover ball here for the Cornish Pirates. Excellent work there from Mark Island. Cattle sees the space in behind. The chase is on. Hunt is across though. Right footed kick from him. And finds touch on this near side. Pirates will make a latest change in a moment. Richard Bright is ready to return, as is Alan Paver. Sean Pimenta is also being summoned into the fray in a moment. Here he comes. Three of them waiting. Referee says, hang on. And there are the changes. Paver is on for Brits. Sean Pimenta is coming on for Laurie McGlone, and obviously Richard Bright makes up the 15 following that 10-minute spell. But Jimmy, with Alan Paver off, Chris will be very happy with that. No points conceded.
Yeah, definitely. The Pirates have weathered that storm fantastically well. We've pushed them back, and to concede no points from having a man in the sin bin is a good positive, and it'll give the boys a lot of confidence going into this final 10 minutes now.
As we said, 10 minutes remaining. Cornish Pirates 29, Rotherham 17. Rotherham now also considering changes in the shape of number 18, Matt Challoner. He's coming on for try scorer John Skerr. John Skerr can certainly be pleased with his afternoon's work. He's done very well from the base of the Titans scrum this afternoon. But back to the on-field action. Blair Cowan just struggling a little there with what appears to be maybe a stinger injury to his shoulder. But Pimenta has been added into the pack. Paver is back on. And it's taken at the front there by Ben Gulliver. Not the best of balls there for Gavin Cattle. Ellaway goes in to clean the ball up, which he does. Cattle now has options. Just taking his time. Eventually, box kick left-footed, downfield. Swatkins goes across to cover it for Rotherham. Has time and space to work in. Chip kick there from the left winger. Looked as though the Pirates left winger Nick Jackson was impeded, but the referee says that was a knock-on. But strange decision there, Jimmy. It looks as though Nick Jackson was taken out off the ball.
Yeah, I thought I saw that as well. He was blocked on his way to get to that ball, but I think the knock-on came from Swatkins on his kick station. We're just seeing it now on the replay.
Seeing that far corner there, blatant obstruction on Nick Jackson. Can't see with
exactly
a knock-on.
What he was doing, yeah.
But referee allows it to go on. But another change here for the Cornish Pirates. Steve Wynn being introduced for Mark Ireland. Mark Ireland applauds the crowds. He can be happy with his shift. He went in a crunching tackle there a few moments ago to win an excellent turnover. Cattle straight into the fray is Wynn there. And the Welshman will be looking to make his mark very quickly on proceedings. Gets up to about a metre short of the Rotherham 22. Pirates have all their options right-hand side here, one of which is Bentley. Bentley feeds a slip pass inside to Morgan. Cattle again will come on this narrow side through Ryan Storer. Big loose head forward there, charges the ball forward. Now Cattle comes back inside to where Paver is waiting. Paver, who had a spell in the sin bin there shortly, is back. But Pirates, this is better for them. They're just keeping the ball. Not doing too much with it, but crucially keeping the ball at bay from Rotherham, and it's Wynn added to proceedings just a moment ago, who takes the ball forward, makes good yardage there, does the Welshman, helped by Ryan Storer along the way. Bodies are going in, and eventually the referee says, let's go back for a scrum, and it will go the way of the Cornish Pirates, but just keep hold of the ball really now, don't you, Jimmy?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing silly. The boys don't need to try anything flash. They just need to play sensible rugby, play in the right areas. We're down now in their 22 with a scrum. Maybe the boys will look for a good strike play, but like you say, just keep hold of the ball, wind the clock down, and see out these final few minutes.
So again, a few Pirates bodies on the floor, one of which is Gavin Cattle, another is Alan Paver. So call goes up to just get James Doherty warm. As we said, James Doherty started last week, changes round, role reversal this week with Cattle starting, Doherty on the bench. But James Doherty in his first season with the Cornish Pirates, he joined in the summer from Wharfdale, and it's good to see some of these lads that have come up from the lower leagues making their mark here at this level. Yeah, definitely. He's certainly impressed the boys in training with his work ethic and attitude from early on. He's worked hard in the gym to get a bit of bulk on him, and yeah, he's going to be a fantastic player in the future. It can be a big ask though, because they're coming from such a difference, a gulf in levels almost, isn't it? You know, someone like Ryan Storer playing Worthing last year and being now asked to come up against the likes of Rotherham. Yeah, definitely, but he's done fantastically well. He's adapted well, and hopefully he'll be at the Pirates for a good few seasons. Scrum goes well there for the Pirates, and it's a little chip kick there from Cattle, runs it straight into the arms of replacement fly half Tom Allen, who's eventually hauled to the floor by Blair Cowan. That was sloppy possession there from the Pirates, giving it away, but fed back inside to Adam Kleberger, the open side flanker for the Titans. Now they switch it right again, driving it forward through prop Anton O'Donnell. Now Rhodes goes left, Hayter feeds it along the line to Allen. Allen up to the 10-metre line. Slow play here, bodies in the way from the Pirates. Referee allows play to continue for the Titans. Sam Betty charges up superbly there, chops down his man at the knees. And we were talking about it earlier in commentary. Sam Betty, some of the statistics he's been hitting apparently this season for the Pirates are pretty impressive with his work rate, his tackle count, etc. And that was a demonstration of it there. Now they feed it along the line, and it's Swatkins who has time and space. That looked high from Blair Cowan, indeed it was. Referee allowing play to continue though. Rhodes feeds it back inside to Allen once again. Little side shimmy from him. Referee though is going to come back for that high tackle. Blair Cowan there, penalised. And referee just has a word with him. Swatkins just shakes his head. That was a fairly hefty blow to the head he took there, but Allen will look to put Rotherham back in Pirates territory. Right-footed kick, not the best one from him there. He only made about, at best, 10 metres. Dave Ward ready to be introduced. Number 17 in the bottom left-hand corner of your picture there is added in place of Rob Elloway. Good shift put in by Elloway this afternoon as he trundles off. But Dave Ward will add something, Jimmy.
Yeah, Dave Ward's got a fantastic work rate. These final 5 minutes now, you'll see him buzzing around the park, looking to get turnover ball, which he's been good at all year for the boys. So yeah, we'll see him there, it's getting straight thick into the action.
Hard-hitting run there from Mags through the midfield, trying to get Rotherham on the attack. They'll try and want to get something at least from today, even if it's a bonus point of some sort with that fourth try. They can smell it, but at the moment it's not been coming. Second half, as we said, are 0-0, but they're scampering away. This is the bonus point try. It's almost as though I called that one before it happened, but yes, the Pirates, the Rotherham have got that fourth try of the afternoon. And again, a big hole exposed around the side of that ruck, and over they scamper. Number 21, Tom Allen, is the man credited with it, but you're seeing there on it some really good footwork, and he leaves the Pirates cover strailing there. Again, a missed tackle from Rob Cook. Or was it Richard Bright by the looks of it? And over he goes. So, bonus point already for Rotherham, and it sets up a big Grand Slam finish now. Kick goes over from Matt Rhodes as well. So, with less than 5 minutes to play now, it's the Cornish Pirates 29, visitors Rotherham 24. Game on, Jimmy Moore.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tense final few minutes now. We've let them back in well within reach, and they're in losing bonus point territory at the moment, but they're only one converted try away from snatching this game at the death.
So Matt Rhodes converts that now. 5 points the difference. Johnny Bentley will restart for the Pirates. Left-footed kick. So the first and only points of the second half have gone the way of Rotherham so far. That wasn't the best of passes, though, from Allen there to restart Rotherham on the offensive, but they've kept the ball, crucially. And it will come back now. Here is Allen once again. That's a better pass from him. Feeds it inside to Conroy. Conroy slip pass back inside. Rotherham look to trundle it forward. They need to get down the Pirates' end of the field as quick as possible. Mags tries to lead the charge. Up to their own 22. Pops out the back of that ruck. Gidlow feeds it back inside. Eventually hauled to the floor by the Pirates. They work that far side. Gidlow this time. Brushing aside two Pirates tacklers before eventually going to ground. Comes back, but it's turnover ball here for the Cornish Pirates. Fed back to Rob Cook. Rob Cook. Right-footed kick from him, but that drop goal chance has sailed well wide of the post, and the opportunity is lost. So be a dropout 22 here to Rotherham. But you can understand the reasoning there behind that. But again, a bit like last week, Johnny Bentley had a similar opportunity, but the drop goal chance doesn't go. I remember you plundering a superb one at Doncaster in a cup game a few years ago, Jimmy.
Yeah, that was a good few years back. No, right decision there from Rob Cook. Just unfortunate with the strike there, but gives the Pirates the opportunity to get the ball back now from the restart, and a good break from Blair Cowan now.
The man known as Quadzilla, Blair Cowan, takes the ball forward. Now the Pirates are on the attack. Johnny Bentley looks to find the hole. Dave Ward goes in to assist. Steve Wynn goes in to assist. Now, Gavin Cattle just pointing to the referee. Give me the ball. There it goes, out to Chris Morgan. He's got men outside him, one of which is Paul Devlin. Declines to use him on this occasion. Still going forward. The former Bristol man had a spell at Newbury as well. This is his second spell with the Cornish Pirate. Cattle works that blind side through Paver. Paver drives it forward. Now the shove goes on. Feeds it back inside. Bentley to Win. Win trying to find a hole through the Rotherham rearguard here. Pirates, better response from them here. This is probably their best spell of play from the second half at the moment. But Cattle feeds it out to Blair Cowan. Metre or so inside the Rotherham 22. Cattle again goes in to dig it out. Feeds Paver on that far side. Driving it forward again. Now it's Storer's chance. Pirates just keeping possession, getting close. They need to get a score though to really make this game safe. At the moment, 5 points the difference with literally a minute of normal time to go. Rotherham at the moment looking at potentially 2 points for their endeavours this afternoon. The Pirates on 5. So that will make sure the Pirates are definitely in the championship playoffs. And Rotherham will be 2 points better off on their tally. But they don't want just 2 points. They're probably hoping they can get something more from this game. Similar to that of the Bees last week. But at the moment, it's the Pirates that lead. Cattle feeds it back inside to Paver on the crash ball now. Drives it forward. Deep inside the 22. Cattle snipes. Feeds it back inside to Cowan. Cowan looks for the sword. Now the drive goes on from the Pirates forwards. Ward enters it. Everyone's in there. Cries of heave go up around us. It's at the tail now with Sam Betty. Sam Betty driving it forward. They're making good yardage here on the Pirates. They're sensing the opportunity might be here to wrap the game up. They're still driving forward. Still moving forward. Betty still has it at the back. It's within inches of the line now. He's eventually brought to the floor. The ball's gone to the ground. Rob Devney in close attendance. Gavin Cattle is trying to do it. Challoner trying to dig that in for Rotherham. Slow ball here for the Cornish Pirates, but they won't mind that. They're camped right on the Rotherham line. We're now into stoppage time. 29 points to 24 in favour of the Cornish Pirates. Gulliver. Slow ball once again. 5 metres out. Cattle. Rotherham trying to counter-ruck here. They need to be clever. They don't want to give away a penalty here. Cattle feeds it back inside. It's Cowan. Cowan gets support from Morgan. Just about 2 metres to the right of the posts. Pirates are losing ground slightly, but Pimenta's there now this time. Picked up eventually by Ward. Ward drives forward. Pimenta adds bulk to the equation. Bentley working in. That's a good charge there from Nigel Conroy. Kicked out by Gavin Cattle. And there is the final blast of the whistle. That's the final whistle here at the recreation ground. The Cornish Pirates are triumphant. 29 points to 24. Jimmy Moore, give us your thoughts on it all.
Yeah, good result at the end of the day. 5 championship points, which is what we came to achieve, and gives us a qualification into the top 8 playoffs at the end of the season. Satisfying end to the game for the Pirates, really. Disappointing to let the Rotherham Titans back into the game, but we had a fantastic start, and that sort of kept us in good stead for the rest of the game.
So 5 points, that's pretty much your playoff place guaranteed now. The Titans obviously have a lot of work to do to make sure they're in the top 8, but a nice result to take into Bedford next week, but still a few areas of concern there.
Yeah, definitely. It'll give the boys some confidence going into Bedford next week. I think our defensive issues will be looked at again this week on the video. We'll look closely into that to see where we need to improve. But all in all, it was a good performance from the Pirates. We countered their forward pack very well. They just scored 2 driving mauls, which we knew they were dangerous at. But no, it was a great effort from all the boys, especially the forward pack today in the scrum area.
Certainly Rotherham may look back at the encounter when they had that big spell of pressure down in that left-hand corner and think maybe we should have gone for the line out. Instead, they opted for a number of scrums and they're turned over from it. Will they look back at that perhaps, Jimmy?
Yeah, they could do. There's a few opportunities where they missed, where they should have scored maybe. But no, it's a shrewd decision making there from the coaching staff to bring off the winger to keep the full 8 in the pack, and it was needed. The Rotherham pack are a dangerous pack, and the boys did extremely well today to hold them and really dominate them in the scrum area.
I know Chris said he wanted to get some kind of payback for Rotherham earlier in the season. Today he's hopefully got that. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it's a fantastic result for the boys today. Like we said, the 5 championship points. Just a bit disappointing, really, to let Rotherham in with so many points and let them get the bonus try point and the losing bonus point. But all in all, a fantastic performance from the boys. They put themselves about well today. Fantastic work rate, which is what we touched on this week in the video session. Wanting the boys to work hard to get back in the defensive line or to get deep in the attacking line to give Johnny and our 10s more options. But no, the boys can be very pleased with that today. Like I said, qualified now for the championship playoffs for the top 8. And we'll look to build towards that now. There's a tough away game next week against Bedford. But now we're in a comfortable position where we can sort of look to try things, what might work, what might not work, and head towards the end playoffs at the end of the season. But no, a satisfying result for the boys today. The crowd very happy with that win at the end. Putting on the pressure towards the end on the Rotherham line, but the boys played sensible rugby, kept the ball well, and Gavin Cattle kicking the ball off at the end to secure the victory. But no, the boys are in the huddle now. I'm sure Gavin will be telling the boys that it was a great effort from them today. Good performance for the boys today, and now I'll hand you over to Mark Stevens.
Welcome back here, full time from Camborne Recreation Ground. It's been a good day for the Cornish Pirates. 5 points in the bag after a 29-24 victory over Rotherham Titans. Alongside me here, outside the grandstand, are 2 very loyal Pirates supporters, Rod and Margaret Lyon. A good day at the office, Rod.
Excellent, couldn't be better. Putting us down in the top 8, I'm sure.
After last week, it was important that the guys bounced back and we've got the 5 points and playoffs are pretty much there now.
Well, I expect that after last week. I'm sure they will come out today, all guns firing, and they did as well, and did us proud.
I know you both do as much travelling as me around the country watching the Pirates and that, Margaret, but how much do you enjoy watching the Pirates?
Oh, I absolutely love it. It's really part of my life now. Yes.
I know, and recently you were the winners of the Dream Holiday. You're heading for Kenya someday, so very exciting times for you both.
It's something I've always dreamed of and never, ever thought it would happen. It's absolutely wonderful.
Tell us a bit more about your love affair with the Pirates. Where's it all come from?
Well, I've always been a rugby fan, of course, and years ago when they were down in the lower leagues and Dickie Evans first got hold of things, I went down. And it's quite a few years before my wife came down, because I won't say it really, she was a Reduce supporter originally. And then one after my mate couldn't go, so he said, I'll keep you company, I'll come down. And she hasn't looked back since. And since then, we help in the clubhouse, we help here, we go to all the away matches, every match we can do. It's just our life now.
Indeed it is, and days like today are obviously special, but I'd imagine Twickenham is probably the highlight for you both, isn't it? The day you had it.
Yes.
That was incredible. That was incredible. I mean, I don't think I've ever felt happier, apart from winning this holiday, I don't think I've ever felt happier when the referee blew the final whistle and we won 19-16 against Exeter to bring back the EDF trophy. The feeling of elation is incredible.
So next week we'll all be heading for Bedford and that's going to be a tough game up there.
Well, yes, but then I feel happier going away now, thinking we got 5 points today. If we can come away with 2 points next week, I'd be very, very happy.
And Margaret, your thoughts on it all? You looking forward to next week as well? I know you like your away days.
I do. I love it. Yes, and then hopefully, I think Plymouth are playing Bristol, aren't they?
That's right, on the Sunday.
Well, maybe we might call in on the way back.
I'll see you there.
See you there.
So that there are the thoughts of Rod and Margaret Lyon, 2 of the most famous Pirates supporters here. We're going to bring you some more reaction in a minute. In fact, it's Chris Sterling on our shoulder. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Thank you. Chris Sterling is just making his way over here at the moment, and it's a much more happier Chris Sterling than I saw last week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the result, 5 points as well, so yeah, we'll take that. It was a hard fought 5 points. Rotherham definitely brought a game, and yeah, we're very happy.
22-0 up. It was just the start you wanted, wasn't it? You wanted a reaction from your boys, and I think you got that certainly in the first quarter of the game.
Yeah, we did, and then the game, they slowed the game down, which they do very well. I mean, I'm not a fan of that style of rugby, but it is pretty effective. Drove a couple of line-outs, scored some points, so that definitely got them back in the game. But yeah, great start, fast out of the blocks. Probably more importantly, Rotherham got the ball early on, and we defended superbly. Stuff we'd worked on all week was outstanding in the first 15 minutes.
In the week, you said to me you put a big emphasis on defence, and that there was some good defence out there. Again, there were areas that you'd probably want to have a look at again.
Yeah, well, you look at the first half, and you look, they scored 2 tries from driving line-outs. I mean, you can't put that down to defence. You put that down to discipline and us getting ourselves into those positions where they can take that set piece close to the line. The third try they scored in the first half was just a great offload. We'd numbered up, we'd marked up, the tackle was made, and a support guy ran a good offload, and unfortunately a couple of our bigger guys didn't get into the passing lane, so it made it hard for them.
Crucially, Chris, though, they had that 10-minute spell. You had Alan Paver in the sin bin. They're going for a succession of scrums. The team are warned one more, and it's probably going to be a penalty try. But you did keep your discipline. You kept your defence really solid then. Yeah,
that was really pleasing, because that's the stuff that is character building. That gives you the belief and the strength that we know next time we get into a situation like that where we can come out the right side of it. So that was really pleasing, and that shows a little bit of maturity, probably something that we've lacked a little bit this year because of the age of the squad. What was also pleasing for me at the end is we realised that, you know, there was no point in shifting the ball wide, keep the ball close. We don't go to a pick and go game, but we did. The boys chose to do it at the right time, and the communication from Gavin and JB to the referee as to when the time was up was superb, and as soon as it was up, we booted the ball off the park, take the points into the change room. Job done.
That's nigh on guaranteed you a playoff place. Can you relax a little now, do you feel?
No, not at all. What it does is it just takes a little bit of that pressure off. I mean, I think we're on 49 points now. I mean, no, it's just gives us an opportunity to maybe rest a couple of soldiers that are looking a bit bruised and battered, and try a couple of maybe different combinations, because there's still a few that are up in the air for a playoff situation. So, you know, definitely not take the foot off the pedal.
As always, this league is relentless, and next week you're on the road and a tough away day at Bedford Blues.
Yeah, Bedford, I mean, they had a couple of solid performances, and then they were taken to pieces at the weekend, so you just don't know. It's you just got to turn up and give it your best shot every week in, week out, which I think, you know, we've said right back from at the beginning of the season that it was going to be like this.
Excellent. That there is the thoughts of Chris Sterling. We're now going to call across Craig West, Rotherham's head coach. He's just making his way over here, but Craig, give us your thoughts on that. A little bit disappointed?
Yeah, after the first 20 minutes where we were a bit lacklustre scrum time and in defence, I thought we regrouped well and the lads came back into the game. And I suppose after 20 minutes, we're quite happy coming away with 2 points, especially with the last 5 minutes camped on our line and defending particularly well. But we came here confident, we came here wanting to beat the Pirates, and we really got to be disappointed with the first 20 minutes, really.
Was that, you know, you're obviously having to play catch-up rugby from that first quarter, and that's never easy, is it?
No, it's not easy, but when you're 15, 20 points behind, it deflates everybody, and, you know, sometimes the game's lost and gone, but we always say to the boys, just keep going as hard as you can, keep the ball in hand, but, you know, it's a lacklustre start that's really put us behind, but at the end of the day, we've come away with 2 points.
A lot of credit, though, to your boys. They kept at it, they kept going, and when you look at the second half, maybe you look at that 10-minute spell down in that left-hand corner there, that was a crucial period in the game, and unfortunately you didn't come away with anything. And it might have been a different game.
Well, obviously it might have been a different game, but I mean, there was 12-15 minutes on the clock and we camped on the 5-metre line. I didn't see, from where we were stood, we couldn't see whether they grounded the ball when the touchers said that we knocked his son over the line. We'll have to wait to see the DVD. But, you know, we weren't dominant in the scrums, as dominant as we needed to be to gain the points. So, you know, they defended really well at that time.
2 points is better than none, and it's edged you a little bit closer to maybe that top 8, but still a lot of hard work for you boys to do.
For hard work every week, yeah. We've got 1 or 2 lads that are injured. We've got a lot of lads that are really tired from the Wednesday game, and we're going to play every game like it's the last game we play. So, yeah, we're confident, and we're confident with the squad, and we're confident with each other that we can get enough wins to get out of the bottom 4, and we're still confident. So.
Speaking to coaches within the division, though, it is relentless, this division this year, and there are no easy games. The sort of gimmies that were here, say, 12 months ago have gone now, haven't they?
Yeah, it's an hard game every week. I mean, we had a game on Wednesday against Pertemps, and we faced 10 points behind after 15 minutes, and they're perceived to be the easiest team in the league. But now there's no easy games. You're right. Every game it's relentless, and it's brutal, really.
A long journey home now, but obviously, like you say, 2 points to take home and a bit of credibility there as well.
Yeah, well, that's what we have, and we can't change that now. So, the only thing we can do now is change what we do on Saturday against Moseley. So, 2 points, and we'd like more, but at the end of the day, I think in reflection, then we're happy with that.
There, thanks for your time as always, Craig. A safe journey home here on Pirates TV. That's us wrapping it up now. Or no, it's not. In fact, we've got man of the match Rudy Britz coming across for a quick chat with us. Rudy, come on. Rudy, congratulations. Big win today for the boys.
Oh yeah, massive win. We worked hard this week on defence and scrummaging wise and stuff like that. We went up there last time. They sort of gave us a roasting, and we should have won up there. But came down here, we stuck together, and the boys proved the point on the day.
5 points, and after last week, you needed those, didn't you? You needed a response of some sort.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last week was a bit of a banana slip. We should have got 5 points out of it. And today should have automatically qualified us for the playoffs. 5 points today, and it's a good win for us, and a good one forward to build on.
Me and Jimmy were saying in commentary, though, in particular, though, that you really took them on up front, particularly in the scrum, and that's your forte as a prop and that.
Yeah, it's like I said, last time we went up there, they gave us a bit of a spanking in the scrum, and we worked hard this week. I mean, we've been talking a lot about it. We did 3 sessions this week, and we just came out and proved like we sort of one of the best packs in the league, and the other teams should watch out.
Talking to both Chris and Craig West there, this division is relentless at the moment, and you've been around it a while now, and there are no easy games, and they're getting tougher and tougher, and we're going to hit the business end in a minute, and they're going to go up another notch.
Oh yeah, massively. I mean, the players are what we're playing for, and everyone's playing for that certain promotion points, and it's just what it's about. The rest of the season won't count until we get there, and when we get there, it's all heads down and go for the final.
Talking to Tyrone at half-time, it's your first season here at the Cornish Pirates. How's Pirates life for you? You enjoying it?
Oh yeah, we're loving it. We settled down. Me and the wife came down in June. Good bunch of boys, good coaching structure, nice professional setup. So yeah, we're definitely enjoying it, and looking forward to the future.
And the Cornish people love their rugby as much as South Africans.
Oh, they do. Maybe even more. Maybe even more.
Is that something you've found, particularly, when you travel away grounds, you see fans there, and sometimes more than the home support?
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. The fan support we got to Pirates is unreal. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Where we go, even if it's up Doncaster, Bladen, wherever we have to play, the boys are always on the bus. The sports is all just following us, and we can't thank them enough for that.
And next week they will be heading for Bedford, and that in itself will be another big test.
Oh yeah, Bedford's massive, especially at their pitch. One of the funniest pitches in the league with that little slope. So, I mean, we've done them over at ours when they came down here, but we can just do the double up there and sort of secure our place in the playoffs, and then work from there.
Rudy, head off for the shower. Well-deserved break. Thanks. There we go. Thanks for your time as always. Well, that's it here on Pirates TV today. We'll be back in a week's time for the Crunch game up.